funerary complex.
Welcome to Menkara's funerary complex.
Oh yes, is our Lord and Destructor online? Because if he is, do not be here. How is this not a VR game yet? Yes, Jesse's online. So, again, I will be telling anybody that shows up here, like, just.
The dimensions of Menkara's pyramid are much less grandiose. However, unlike its predecessors, Menkara's pyramid shows a great deal of complexity in its internal and external finish.
Bored?
The outside was partially covered in red granite, while the internal walls were richly decorated. This latter innovation would not catch on until the end of the 5th dynasty, when pyramid texts began to adorn the walls.
Oh god, it's my favorite episode of Star Trek, but one of. There's a lot of good ones.
Menkara's pyramid contains two sloping
Getting stuck in a
passages,
causality loop.
both located in the northern side of the structure. The upper one was abandoned during the construction phase, whereas the lower one, slightly above the base of the monument, constitutes the real entrance. The lower passage leads to a first room, which, for the first time since the reign of Djoser, is decorated with engraved false doors.
Yeah.
Warp refers to a distortion. If this were a temporal distortion, and if we were close enough to it, it's possible that a large enough explosion might have ruptured the
Large enough explosion!
It got caught in this repeating loop of time.
You're right. Perhaps we could escape from the loop by avoiding the collision.
I thought.
Perhaps we should reverse
What's
course.
up, Chains? Why aren't you watching Jesse? He's playing a real game, and I'm just taking tours. Or doing tours.
But let's do everything we can to avoid it.
While Menkara's pyramid complex was unfinished at the time of his death, it was hastily and somewhat shabbily completed by his successor, Shepsakov. Even so, this funerary structure marks a watershed in the history of this kind of monument. From then onwards, the pyramid shrank, whereas the mortuary temple expanded both in its quantitative and qualitative aspects. Of particular note, it is within Menkara's mortuary
So
temple
much
that one
words.
can find the heaviest block of limestone ever used for a pyramid.
Not a lot of
complex,
game going on.
weighing in at over 200 tons.
Oof, that's a hefty little tongue. Yeah. Chains, the man they call Chains. I don't know. How has Chains been?
Menkara's causeway was completed in mud brick by the king's successor, whereas the lower part was nothing more than a simple ramp. As for the Valley Temple, it was built in 2 phases. The foundations were first laid out in limestone during Menkara's reign, but the temple itself
Oh, the
was
narrator's
completed in
Canadian.
mud brick
Laid out.
afterwards. As such, the Valley Temple was soon damaged and ended up being completely rebuilt during the 6th dynasty.
Aww. Run to the. Such a good episode.
3 small
Back us
structures,
off, then,
referred to
sir.
as Menkara's Queen's Pyramids, were erected along the southern side of the main pyramid.
Yeah, I bet
One
those
of them
queens
was a
erected those
smooth-faced
pyramids.
pyramid, while the other 2 were more basic step pyramids. It is difficult to assess whether the latter were designed as such or were left unfinished with no casing to smooth out their surfaces.
Smooth out. Talking about smoothing out. Oot. Oh yeah, you horsers.
The easternmost pyramid was built with the traditional rooms and corridors found within a satellite pyramid meant to house the king's ka. However, a granite sarcophagus was found within, leading to the conclusion that it was used as an actual tomb rather than as a symbolic cenotaph. Drawing on these observations, some assume that this pyramid was first built as a satellite pyramid for the king's ka, before seeing its purpose change to that of a queen's tomb. Which queen, however, remains a mystery.
Tour complete. Tour. Yeah, that's right. Give me my birdie. Wow. Oh, man's burning. Giza. Learn about Caffrey's? Kafar? Oh god, I just...
Welcome to Pharaohs funerary complex.
Cough. I think I sort of said that. It's a great pyramid.
Since the very beginning of the 4th dynasty, mortuary temples were built adjacent to pyramids on the eastern side. Such a location, facing the rising sun, as well as the world of the living as a whole, held an important symbolic meaning. For it was within the mortuary temple that kings were revived through daily rituals. In its standard form, a mortuary temple was divided into 2 parts. A front area which consisted of a vestibule and a courtyard, and an area in the back, where all sacred elements were located.
Where are the vomitories?
The back of the temple incorporated several essential features, including an inner sanctuary with a false door, which allowed the soul of the pharaoh to travel between the world of the dead and the world of the living.
Oh, I'll leave it to the rich to have weird false things like that. I'm gonna travel between the living and the dead. Preserve my body!
The largest of all such structures, Khafre's mortuary temple, was entirely built with megalithic blocks of limestone from a nearby quarry and encased with granite. Parts of Khafre's mortuary temple, particularly the courtyard walls, are thought to have been decorated with splendid reliefs. However, not a single image of the king has been discovered
I lost
inside the
Chains.
mortuary temple.
Well, Chains better be going over to Jesse's and watching Alien Isolation. They really need to make a VR version of that. Whoa!
Khufu's direct successor, Jedafre, followed the custom which required each king to establish a new site for their funerary accommodation, and chose Abu Rawash as his last resting place.
Thanks for chilling,
build his own
Chains. Like, it's gonna be all tours right now.
And the
I want to get it done.
Jedafre broke with tradition and returned to Giza.
Yeah!
Not only did Khafre thumb his nose at tradition, but he did so in a way which he hoped would allow him to overshadow his father's most important monument.
Ooh. He's a bad boy. So many tours going to try and do the pyramids today.
Though Khafre's pyramid is smaller than Khufu's, it was cunningly built on a more elevated bedrock layer than the Great Pyramid, making it appear higher than any other pyramid at Giza. Today,
You
Khafre's
sneaky
pyramid is the only one among the three at Giza that still has the upper part of its limestone casing.
Yes.
Considered a most sacred area, the Giza necropolis was strictly defined, both geographically and physically. An 8-meter thick Jura
Beautiful.
limestone wall completely surrounded the Great Pyramid. The only way inside would have been through the mortuary temple.
See, we just never under. And these, like, even at the time frame of this, these temples are
From the reign
ancient.
of Sneferu and onwards,
Snef-
the subsidiary pyramid
Sorry,
became
that
a
sounds like a
common
cat.
feature within the pyramidal
Sneferu.
complex. The function of the subsidiary pyramid, however, smaller in size
The lost
and in height
Muppet,
than the royal
Sneferu.
tomb, remains unclear, though some believe that
Great
it was meant to
grandfather of
house the Ka of the
Snuffleupagus.
Pharaoh.
Sneferu. Yeah. Oh god, I would just love to have seen all these things in their actual
In
prime.
mainstream media, the Ka is often defined as the soul of the deceased. The truth is a bit more complicated. Within the ancient Egyptian funerary belief system, the
Anywho,
Ka was a component of a living person,
Amun
which separated
Ka.
itself from the body at the time of death. It represented the deceased's vital essence.
I'll show you
In
my
order
vital
for the
essence.
deceased to ascend to a new life, whether in this world or the next, the Ka had to be embodied in a statue, and its existence maintained through offerings and rituals.
I mean, you're never truly dead unless
Within
you're
Khafre's
forgotten.
subsidiary pyramid, a wooden box containing pieces of cedar was discovered by archaeologists. When reassembled, it turned out to be a shrine mounted on a sled. Just as with the solar barges found around Khufu's pyramid, it seems Khafre's shrine and sled were ritually disposed of after his funeral.
Well, that's a little, oh, baby. Perhaps we can. Whee! Riddle of the Sphinx, baby. Thanks to the French soldiers shooting at it. Itchy. No. 12 minutes in. I already lost chains. Oh boy.
Welcome to the Riddles of
The
a Sphinx was originally meant to be a personification of the king. The human head, wearing pharaonic regalia, was fused with the body of a lion, thus showing the qualities the powerful animal possessed, namely its power, the swiftness of its attack, and its majestic authority.
I'll show
By
you
these very
majestic
virtues, it was
authority.
also considered a symbol of protection. Unsurprisingly, statues of sphinxes could be found along the dromas, protectors of the path taken by the gods to reach the temples.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, Worf wasn't in this one. Sorry. Yes, because I know.
Over the centuries,
I already lost
enthusiasts and
chains.
historians alike have wondered, who built the Sphinx? For what purpose? And who does it
The
represent?
angry dog with
These
the mustache.
questions remain unanswered.
Oh,
Several theories do exist, however, some more credible than others. One theory supposes that Jedefre chose to pay homage to his father Khufu by building the Great Sphinx of Giza. The stone temple on the eastern face of the Sphinx would have been added later on by his brother and successor, Khafre, in order to strengthen the divine worship of their father. It would be the first Egyptian temple oriented with the sun.
wasn't there a few pictures from like, I want to say 1700s with the Sphinx head. Basically, the Sphinx completely buried up to its head. I think.
Another theory suggests that the Sphinx was built by Khafre and was meant to represent him. The arguments to support this hypothesis are based on the fact that the limestone beds used for the main work of the Temple of the
You just
Sphinx
hit
are
the
geographically and
compressed shuttle bay
architecturally
button.
similar to the Valley Temple of Khafre. Some believe that Khufu himself built the Sphinx, which was later finished under his successors, Jetafre and Khafre.
Jennifer, like, seriously, did you let your cat run a keyboard?
The typology of the Nemes, and the absence of a beard at the time of construction.
Baby.
While ancient Egypt as a whole leaves a rather monochrome vision of its monuments and statuary, it is vital to understand that in ancient times, absolutely everything was painted. The sun, eating away at the pigments of the colors, the sand, the climate, and the implacable impact of time, unfortunately destroyed the glorious colors of the Sphinx of Giza. Documents from an Arab Egyptologist of the 12th century, Abd al-Latif al-Baghdadi, indicate that traces of red were still visible in his time. Today, however, the only color that remains are traces of red close to the ears of the Sphinx, as well as hints of blue and yellow on the Nemes, traditional colors for that type of headdress. The pigments for the color red were man-made, obtained by mixing different products such as clay, quartz sand, and very finely crushed hematite.
Oh, Fraser.
Can we render assistance? I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation's Starship Enterprise. Just have to ask you the same thing. Captain Picard, your vessel is not familiar to us. Captain, have you any idea what has just happened?
Red had a strong symbolism in ancient Egypt. It was both the color of life and the color of death. It could represent the sands of the desert or the brilliance of the sun. Red was also associated with the god Seth, vengeful and destructive. The Egyptian word for red, Deshur, is also the word which was used to signify the desert, or the royal crown of Lower Egypt. In art, red was also the color used to paint the bodies of men, while yellow was used for women. It is possible that there were also color restoration efforts during the Saite period about 600 years before Cleopatra's rule, as indicated by notes on the inventory stele, discovered in 1858 by Auguste Mariette. It is because of this that the team made the decision to display it with its full range of colors, even though the Sphinx's colors would have likely faded by Cleopatra's time.
Riddles of the Sphinx.
Dating from the 4th dynasty, approximately 2600 to 2500 BCE, the Great Sphinx of Giza is the oldest and largest sphinx that we know of. Carved from a natural limestone outcrop, the Sphinx measures 19.8 meters in height,
It's an outcrop. I'm Canadian.
And 14 meters in width.
Oh, God. Actual Canadians would try to rip the actually, no, they'd be really polite about it. It's like, don't try and make fun of us, eh?
In order
we got lots of. Oh goodness, another sucker. Hello to whoever you are. Yeah, I'm just doing the tours. Figured they put the effort into it. I'm gonna watch them. So if you don't want to, don't stick around. Might I recommend the game dungeon? It's playing Alien Isolation.
Today, the Sphinx is called the Terrifying One. This appellation is translated from its Arabic name, Abu al-Hal, which in turn was derived from Baluba in Coptic.
Coptic? Come on, Aya. You know you can climb better. Yeah.
The Sphinx as a whole was carved in situ from a natural stone promontory. Its head was built in a limestone peak of the Mukatam Plate, and the body was sculpted in the underlying rock layer where it is located. The degradation of the Sphinx is due in particular to wind erosion and the different quality of limestone used in its construction. The level of sodium contained in the groundwater which abuts the stone is also a contributing factor.
Don't. History.
The natural bedrock is seen through the oblique natural strata of the Sphinx's body that are similar to the surrounding limestone.
That was it? It was literally it.
Since antiquity, people have always believed there was a hidden tomb deep within the Sphinx.
And there
It is
was.
thought that attempts to plunder the Sphinx began as far back as the First Intermediate Period. Since then, numerous attempts to pierce the Sphinx's secrets have been carried out, leaving indelible scars upon
Carried
the
out. Come off it, ducky.
12 meters long and cut during pharaonic times, another entrance in the back of the Sphinx aroused curiosity. Although Thutmose IV attempted to seal it off, it was possibly reopened by treasure hunters. It was rediscovered by Howard Vyse and mapped more recently by Mark Lehner.
I was going to
This
say Mark
entrance at the
Lauer?
back of the Sphinx leads to different cavities of a few meters each, in directions going inside the statue's body and under the surface. The team has used this opportunity to extrapolate a little more.
Extrapolate. Oh, you hoser, eh?
While there have been no
Really hope
major
no Canadians
discoveries
watch this.
pertaining
I will
to
be
the Sphinx
pro.
of Giza in recent
It'll probably
years,
be boiled in
theories and
maple syrup
hypotheses continue to emerge.
for my
Without
blasphemy.
validation provided by archaeological sources, however, they remain unsubstantiated.
Ah. Eh. I knew I heard the name Joey Janela. It's like, oh, it's at his event we're gonna get Matt Riddle versus James Ellsworth. Oh
The first
god,
of
that's
the
gonna be
main
glorious.
theories as to the Sphinx of Giza's meaning posits that the Sphinx was originally a massive representation of the god Anubis. Its
Anubis.
principal arguments are that the head of the Sphinx is disproportionate compared to the size of its body. The second theory believes that the representation of two sphinxes on the stela of Thutmose IV would indicate that another stone sphinx had existed on the site itself, possibly even in paired symmetry on the other side of the Nile.
Ooh.
However, neither of these theories can be verified in any way.
And tell time travel, dang it. Ugh.
Several scientific projects using new technologies have been put in place in the past decades. The most important was led by Mark Lehner and his team, who specialize in the study and survey of the Giza Plateau, including the Sphinx site. The mapping made it possible to see the materials used to construct the Sphinx, analyze the different layers of erosion, and figure out the most fragile areas to protect. After a few attempts at giving the Sphinx artistic proportions, the team instead decided to use photogrammetry mapping to faithfully reproduce the proportions of the Sphinx.
Whoa. Big words.
What the Sphinx of Giza represented during its construction and how the Sphinx was perceived by the Egyptians of the New Kingdom are two very different matters. Originally a representation of the king imbued with the power of the lion, the Sphinx was eventually viewed as a direct representation of the most divine. It is theorized that kings of the New Kingdom believed that the Sphinx of Giza was the one who recognized and legitimized the ruler of Egypt.
No,
Thus,
maybe you want to see my
despite
dumb
the fact the
face.
Sphinx of Giza was partially buried under the sand during his reign, Amenhotep II knew that the monument was of great
Amenhotep!
importance.
Amenhotep, yeah. Man, I'm slouching.
Amenhotep II built a second temple dedicated for the Sphinx's Horamaket to pay homage to Khufu and Khafre, his predecessors.
Yeah.
It became a common habit for this dynasty
Cool.
to spend time with their royal
Khufu.
courts at the Sphinx.
Khufu.
Its sanctuary became known as Setepet, the Chosen.
Sounds like some Setepet sounds like some really
Egyptologist
kinky name.
Mark Lehner believed that Amenhotep
Setepet.
II built a statue of himself anchored between the paws of the Sphinx, likely to legitimize his reign, alongside a stela found by Salim Hassan.
Oh boy.
Many other pharaohs of this dynasty, such as Tutankhamun and Ramses II, also left marks of their passage in a similar fashion, sometimes even stripping the stones of nearby temples and pyramids to do so. Amenhotep II's son and successor, Thutmose IV, was a frequent offender.
Main offender.
While sleeping between the Sphinx's paws, the future Thutmose IV saw in a dream the god Horamaket proclaiming his coming accession on the throne of the two lands. This was, of course, on the condition that he remove all of the sand covering the Sphinx, which stood guard as the personification of the god, and should thus never be engulfed by the sands of the desert.
Still not used to hair there. Here at my
The
face.
15-ton dream stela built by Thutmose IV to commemorate his dream was discovered by an Italian Egyptologist, Giovanni Battista Caviglia, in 1818, when he undertook the task of freeing the Sphinx from the sand, which had yet again covered it. Caviglia was looking for an entrance into the structure of the Sphinx, but instead he discovered an open-air chapel and stelas between the paws. Ashes from a ceremony were still present. Protected by sand, they quite possibly were from the last ceremonies in Roman times.
Dang. Whoa.
That same year, Caviglia discovered fragments of the Sphinx's beard that had probably been added during the New Kingdom. If many of these pieces are held by museums in Cairo, a fragment is displayed at the British Museum, along with a piece of the uraeus that was on the Sphinx's headdress.
Whoa!
It is believed this fragment of beard was possibly kept in place thanks to the statue of Amenhotep II, which was supposed to be located under the head of the Sphinx.
See, so much cool.
A popular cultural legend purports that the nose of the Sphinx of Giza was lost during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte to the cannon fire of French soldiers in training. However, engravings from before the time of that campaign already depicted the Sphinx without a nose, indicating that it had been removed before the French campaign.
Yeah.
The most plausible hypothesis is based on the research of the German historian Ulrich Harman. During the
not
1980s,
Ulrich.
Harman compiled medieval sources written by Arab authors.
Harman.
In doing so, he discovered that the Sphinx was once perceived as a favorable omen, a deity supporting sediment-nurturing floods and crops. Around 1378, a Sufi by the name of Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar could not stand this vision of the monument, and in an iconoclastic act, broke the nose of the Sphinx. According to the texts, he was then hanged and burned between the legs of the Sphinx for his crime.
No, Aladdin and Jasmine, while flying magic carpet, caused the dude carving the Sphinx. Everybody knows that. It was Jasmine and Aladdin causing the dude to do the thing. 'Cause... Captain Gene Luck, Petard, actually. Learn about the plateau, hosting most... 2 minutes, heck yeah.
Welcome to
Yeah, what time is it?
overview of the Giza necropolis.
48. You know, I think I might actually have to go and walk and do this. Horsey! Horsey, 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 horsey,
The
horsey,
Giza
horsey.
Plateau is located on the west bank
So
of the Nile
beautiful.
and was considered by ancient Egyptians as the
Toe,
domain of
toe.
the dead. The pyramidal complexes found there were built over the span of 3 generations, during the reign of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaura.
Nankara? Like Sin Cara? Oh god, it's WrestleMania weekend, come on! Here I am. I'm literally streaming the tours.
The Giza
Of
area, now famous
Assassin's
for its
Creed
3
Origins.
pyramids, is part of a
Oranges.
wider grouping of funerary complexes. Rulers from
Assassin's
this
Creed
period generally elected
Oranges.
to be buried in the area. The focal point of the entire region was the
Yo.
city of Memphis, chosen as the capital of Egypt at the
Finally
beginning
made
of
it
the
to
Old
Memphis.
Kingdom. The placement of the Giza monuments, and particularly that of the pyramids, followed a practical yet strict
Oh,
alignment.
Lieutenant Tom
First, they
Paris.
focused
Oh,
on cardinal
it would have been
points
cool if he
that
actually would have
accounted
been
for the
this
natural geology
character.
of the plateau.
It was really cool for the follow through on, I can't think of her name right now, in the lower episode Lower Decks. Ah. It was really, really cool. Yay! 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 Just, we don't want to pay. We don't want to pay the writer in perpetuity. Yeah, but I'm like, it's basically the same dude, played by the same dude, and yet, continuity. Just do it for story. Who gives a crap? Understand wrestling. I'm gonna. Is Chain's in here? He better be in here. Yep. Good.
Damn. Blew his ass up. It's not the right one. Alright, well, where's the blue one then? That was blue? Okay, so I guess that's not blue, that's blue.
No. Chains, you dirty, dirty. Probably clean. Learn about Khufu's funerary complex. What?
Welcome to Khufu's funerary complex.
So interesting. Let's learn about the funerary complex.
The Valley Temple was the first architectural component encountered when one entered the funerary
Yeah, just doing the
complex.
tours. So
It was considered
I'm just doing the tours. It's my work week. I am gonna stay calm and relaxed.
both a temple and a portico. Khufu's
Also, I
Valley Temple
kind of want a
shows
bearskin
evidence of
rug
a
and then
basalt
just
pavement,
full
letting us
body,
know where the
like at
vertical
this
portion
point.
of the structure was located. Such a partition is believed to symbolize both the subterranean and solar aspects of the afterlife.
Holy crap, another sucker. I mean, viewer! Yeah, just doing tours right now. Like the title says,
Causeway
tours.
ran from the floodplain up to the plateau, linking together the Valley Temple and the Mortuary Temple.
Yeah.
A traditional causeway presented itself as a paved path, enclosed by walls and often roofed.
Nice. Ugh, would love to see that in its prime. Ugh. Ooh.
Fragments
Funerary
discovered by
complex.
archaeologists indicate that the walls in Khufu's causeway, one of the longest known to us, were decorated with carvings and possibly paint. Depictions show a great variety of themes: stars on the ceiling, accompanied by scenes of battles on the walls. Other engravings depicted the creation of the complex by illustrating craftsmen at work.
Oh, gosh, I just... Ugh. Seriously, time travel. I would do the dumbest things with it. I want to see the pyramids! Do you know how to speak the language? Don't care!
Cemeteries of Giza are located east and west of Khufu's pyramid.
Go to feudal Japan.
The Eastern Cemetery was reserved for members of the royal family, while the Western Cemetery was mostly set aside for various court dignitaries.
Ooh.
In both
Ambassador.
areas, private tombs, also known as mastabas, were aligned and laid out
Hey,
methodically.
this is kid-friendly. Don't be using words like mastabas.
Was probably an attempt at recreating the king's court for the afterlife.
Yeah, that person stuck around for a little bit. More power to him. I'm seriously doing tours. Go check out the game dungeon. Go check out the game dungeon. He's doing alien isolation.
A sloping passage led from the ground surface to a burial chamber, cut out of the bedrock and lined with masonry. If it seems quite certain that these monuments were intended for queen's burials, the identity of the original occupants is hard to assess.
Hard.
The northernmost pyramid was most likely meant for Queen Pharaohs, who is believed to have been Khufu's mother. However, in 1925, her actual tomb was discovered nearby by accident. It was hidden at the bottom of a deep masonry pit in an underground chamber. Within the concealed chamber, Egyptologists discovered the most complete royal funerary equipment, dating from the Old Kingdom, though her body was missing.
Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun.
Within the vicinity of Khufu's pyramid, Egyptologists have uncovered 7 boat pits. The exact function of such boat-shaped pits remains unconfirmed, though one can easily conjecture that it was symbolic in nature. The boat pits being located at the eastern side of the pyramid, at the precise spot where the resuscitated king was supposed to reappear, could constitute evidence to support such an assumption. The 2 southern boat pits, each covered by a roof of huge limestone slabs, were discovered in 1954 by Kamal al-Malak, an Egyptian Egyptologist. Only one of them had been opened. 1,224 boat parts made of cedar wood were retrieved one by one and patiently reassembled by the master restorer Ahmed Youssef.
Oof.
This process took 28 years.
Ooh.
Youssef worked by following lines of mortise and tenon joints and by stitching parts together with vegetable ropes, all in order to keep the design as authentic as possible.
Whoa. I would not have the patience for that. Holy crap baskets. Excuse me. Oh yeah, don't forget to like...
The Greek
that joke's weird there.
Pyramidion refers to the capstone of a pyramid or the tip of an obelisk. In ancient Egyptian, both components were called ben-ben. This word was also used for a specific kind of food, a cone-shaped offering made of bread. The pyramidion was intended to be a miniature reproduction of the pyramid, making it equal to the monument itself in symbolic importance.
Ow, ow.
A few pyramidia have been retrieved from pyramidal complexes. The earliest, found in Dashur, is undoubtedly a good example of Old Kingdom's pyramidia. It is made of limestone and has no inscriptions. Some engraved pyramidia were recovered from private funerary chapels. Their inscriptions all related to the solar symbolism of the Ben-Ben.
Ben. It's funny to me.
The pyramidia of the
Khufu
pyramids of Giza were never recovered. The reconstitution you see in the game is fictive, incorporating a golden pyramidion bearing inscriptions relevant to Khufu.
Yay! Another one bites the dust. And another one. Whoa. Are those going to be inside? Alright, so with any luck, 5 more to go. So how many? 7 minutes, 4, 10, 5, 9. Let's do the 10-minute one first. Let's get the long ones out of the way and then just go shorter. Inside.
Welcome to the Great Pyramid of Giza, upper chambers.
Whoop, whoop.
At the entrance of the ascending passage are 3 granite flagstones estimated to weigh up to 25 tons each. They were used to protect the Great Pyramid from thieves. Undaunted by the granite blocks, the thieves simply dug into the softer limestone around them, thus creating the robber's entrance.
Ooh.
While in reality the robber's entrance is one single cavity which leads to both passages, in the game, the team created individual accesses to either passage. As such, in the game, one entrance leads to the ascending passage, while another leads to the descending passage.
So I love when they start talking about the game, because you don't actually get a lot of
The
behind
ascending
the scenes.
passageway of the Great Pyramid provides a direct path into the Grand Gallery and is accessed 30 meters from the entrance along the descending corridor. Both corridors have similar dimensions and are designed with the same 26-degree incline.
And I believe that is for something.
The ascending
I really don't know.
corridor has smooth masonry on its walls, and the layout includes many trapezoidal stones. Both the floor and ceiling of the passageway indicate that the passage was enlarged, possibly during or after the funeral, to allow workers room to move granite blocks meant to plug the corridor.
I remember being in this area.
Purpose is still debated among experts. It may have been intended to align with the stars, act as a buffer to protect the king's chamber, or simply to facilitate the transport of the granite blocks used inside the pyramid. Access to the queen's chamber was at the beginning of the Grand Gallery.
Oh. Crouch. My goodness, you are moving very slow. Hello, whoever it is. I'm literally just doing tours on there. Actually, sort of don't even know I'm streaming them. Bye.
Though this room is referred to as the Queen's Chamber, it is believed that there was no queen buried here. Based on their knowledge of earlier pyramids,
Hi again.
believe it was more likely
Yeah, just doing tours.
Serdab.
So, you want to check out a real stream? Go to Game Dungeon Productions. It's playing Alien Isolation.
Situated exactly within the pyramid's center, on the east-west axis of the pyramid, the chamber has a vaulted ceiling and measures 5.7
Hi there. I have
by
no idea how to
5.2
say that.
meters. In the eastern wall, there is a niche tucked away in a small corbelled archway, which may have originally held the Ka statue. Behind this niche is another smaller hole, possibly dug out by thieves in search of further treasure.
Oh, the Canadians. And their oots. Oh, there's another one here.
In the 19th century, 2 shafts were found running through the north and south walls. They each run in a horizontal line for 2 meters before sloping upward, and both are closed off with limestone blocks fitted with copper handles. Whether they were intended as ventilation shafts for workers
So,
or
the
a celestial
ventilation
connection to the
shafts.
Pharaoh's spirit is
Ow.
unconfirmed.
So much interest.
A recent scan
Thank you.
indicated the presence of an unknown cavity hidden behind the north face of the wall.
It's nice that somebody loves me.
Corridor. Further investigation is still ongoing to ascertain the nature of the anomaly, so as to avoid risking damage to the monument.
Running and ducking. Crouch, 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 crouch. Sautak. Oh, how do you say that? Really don't. Time to run up the incline.
Khufu's architects
Ow,
were possibly influenced by earlier rhomboidal pyramids when designing the gallery. It is the longest
Game over.
ever built, measuring
Again,
47 meters
Alien
long,
Isolation, Game
3.6
Dungeon,
meters
game
high.
over, man, game
The
over.
walls were made to taper inward, allowing for better distribution of weight. As a result, the ceiling measures just over 1 meter wide at its highest point. Though this construction technique is present in other pyramids, few have the same precision and stability. While the space is visually dramatic, the gallery seems
banana,
to serve a practical
apple?
function, though what exactly remains uncertain. Still, the wall design was undoubtedly meant to contribute
Pear.
to the stability of the structure,
Mango.
and its floor may have helped
Plum.
workers move the materials.
Peach.
A channel runs along the middle of the room. A movable floor originally rested in this central recess. The raised benches on either side are equipped with slots that may have been used to help position the granite blocking stones.
I am banana. Apple pen? Whoa.
At the end of the Grand Gallery is the entrance to the antechamber leading to the King's
I'm
Chamber.
I'm a banana.
Directly above,
apple
there is
pen?
another narrower horizontal passage that connects to the top of the King's
Really
Chamber
don't know what that
to
means.
allow the workers access to the weight relief rooms.
Really don't. No. I have no idea what that is.
The far end of the Grand Gallery leads to a small antechamber with a portcullis, preventing access to the King's Chamber. The portcullis was composed of 3 separate granite slabs. They were designed to be lowered into place and seal the chamber after the burial of the king. The grooves dug out to hold the slabs in place are still clearly visible to this day. The elaborate locking system was composed of a series of grooves for the ropes and pulleys that drop the slabs into place, like the notches on a key.
Why is there 2 people? I'm just doing the
For
tours.
the purposes of the game, the team elected to remove the portcullis slabs in order to grant the player access to the King's Chamber. In reality, workers would have backed out of the room after the funeral, lowering each
Coolio.
slab into place
This isn't a
one
gangster's
at a
paradise.
time.
Zazu.
And evidence of their break-in is still evident.
Those thiefy monsters. So what's up, Teeks? Zaz. Z. Jean-Pierre Houdin's theories. Oh. Whoops.
The King's Chamber is built entirely out of red granite. The King's Chamber measures 5.8 meters in height. It has an imposing cover of 5 stacked levels above, with granite beams
it's still
weighing
sort of a
25
thing.
to 40 tons each.
I do like the hawk.
Level is
To
bear the enormous
it's in the process, Teeks. Like, Besides, I got a full beard. The hawk didn't look right with the beard.
As in the Queen's Chamber.
And Teeks, what are you doing watching me when, as far as I know, Jesse is streaming Alien Isolation? Ooh, KFC. It's a little late for that right now, though.
Experts in the culture of the Old Kingdom believe that the shafts were thought to lead the king's soul to the stars, with the incarnation of the Pharaoh as the god Ra, represented by the northern well, and the god Horus by the southern well.
Is there a southern well? Southern well!
There is a granite sarcophagus at the west end of the room, but it is the concealed construction inscriptions left by workmen on the roof's stones, which verify this as the resting place of Khufu. The sarcophagus was recorded as being empty when it was discovered, and its design indicates that there was once a lid in place.
Not shaving at all.
It's possible that this sarcophagus is only a cenotaph.
As long as I got hair, I'm gonna at least flaunt it.
The body.
Another 10 years, it'll probably be gone. What do you mean no multiplayer? Like in this game? I'm fine with no multiplayer.
Khufu's mummy
Oh,
was
also
never
hi,
found.
Alabama guy.
It is hoped that as of yet undiscovered hidden rooms and shafts of the pyramid may provide an answer as to its location.
Yay! Oh, the beard is so nice. I love it. Starting other tour.
Welcome to Jean-Pierre Houdin's theories.
Oh. Alright.
The team wanted to provide players with a sense of exploration and discovery, particularly within the Great Pyramid. As such,
there's a lot of gold.
Was made that the internal design of the monument in the game would reflect Jean-Pierre Houdin's theories. While the antechambers of the King's Tomb have yet to be discovered, Houdin posits that this is merely due to a unique design.
When will this end?
At the center of the pyramid.
Well, this one's about 7 minutes long.
Was designed along
I think I have 4 more of these. Yeah, Teeks, honestly, you're probably better off leaving. Not even joking. I'm gonna be doing tours, at least today again, because I want to get them done. Because I like this stuff, and maybe there's some weirdos out there that also like Egyptian stuff.
To enhance the game experience. In regular royal tombs, the antechambers were filled with.
I did not finish Okami. I kind of dropped off that. Dropped off a lot of stuff, and then I'm like, I gotta do them again.
The art team created a unique and fantastic.
Also, I've been a little busy.
Second antechamber.
And then next week I'll be going on an actual vacation. I guess I lost Alabama guy and that other person. I don't even know how to pronounce that one. And come on, Aya of Alexandria!
Houdin
Ow.
theorized
Toe.
that the ascending corridor and the Great Gallery were used by the workers to haul hoist the heavy beams above the king's chamber. He called it the service circuit. The corridor you are in
Oh
now
crap!
was created by the team
There's
following
platforming.
Houdin's theory and is referred to as the noble circuit.
New games.
It is through this corridor.
Play the crap out of Ghost Recon Wildlands. I do have Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, but I want to finish this before I go to Rogue because this plays a heck of a lot different than all of the old Assassin's Creeds. Yeah. So.
With this structure in mind, one can easily assume that
And I have no idea if, because I'm going to be away from home for 10 days, so I really hope that place has Wi-Fi. I'll be so screwed if it doesn't.
Chevrons of the pyramid. As such, the team chose to create this area for the player to explore. Here is where
I could just never get into the Far Cry games.
Exited the pyramid after
They seem fun and all, but I just really can't. I want to get Burnout Paradise Remastered. Also, definitely going to wait for... Oh yeah, God of War soon too. So many games. North Carolina. My brother's getting married, so I'll be there for about 10 days. I get to drive with the parents in my car, which means I get to do the one thing that that they always did to me, always threaten. Except it's going to be the opposite. It's like, if you two don't stop fighting, I'm just going to go straight to North Carolina.
The external ramp would have been too steep for the upper portion of the pyramid. This is why he posits that there were
and I guess
an external ramp.
All the shenanigans are going to go down in the Outer Banks. I guess it's like a really nice vacation area, but you know, it's April, so I don't know how nice it's going to be. Either way, I'm dipping my fat ass in the Atlantic. Tropical is next year. Next year they're doing something in the Bahamas.
A notch discovered in the edge of the Great Pyramid, known as Bob's
and
Road,
I will be damned if I miss that.
Located at the corners of each edge of the pyramid,
the only places I've ever traveled were Germany and England.
To turn the stone by 90 degrees, allowing them to continue the ascent. The team chose to create rooms such as this one, bringing Houdin's hypothesis to life.
Whee! I think North Carolina is technically subtropical.
This long corridor was the first.
I don't get drunk really. Honestly, I just don't.
To build the Great Pyramid,
I was never a big drinker.
And then turned at each
although I guess there are all a bunch of dirty rednecks down there too, so maybe I will get drunk. And hopefully I will walk into the ocean, never to be seen again, because I've gone home to my Lord Cthulhu. No. That would actually suck. Ugh. Ugh, the thought of drowning. Ugh. Look at that. In this mode, you can't burn the cobwebs. It sucks. Ooh, maybe they just disappeared. Tix, why aren't you watching Jesse's stream unless it's over? But why aren't you watching Jesse's stream? He's playing Alien Isolation. I'm doing tours of Egypt in Assassin's Creed Orgins.
At the base of the southeastern face of the pyramid. This location would have been the junction point of the external and internal
ramps.
Below us, workers would have built
time is it? Oh god, 5:17 already.
Ramp before eventually switching to the internal ramp for the middle and upper sections of the pyramid. At that time in the process, they could have reused the material of the external ramp to fill the center of the pyramid, hauling the stones in through the internal ramp.
Well, I'm sure he could grow a fantastic Jufro of a beard. But still, he's our Lord and Destructor. So, yeah, this one, and I think 2 more, and then that'll be the pyramid stuff done-ish. And then all I have is Alexandria, a couple in the Nile Delta. Black Panther was really good. How was the D-Box?
Welcome to the Great Pyramid, Subterranean
Chamber. Didn't I already do this? I guess not. Yeah. So after that, I got these 2. I don't think I'm gonna do these. That's 2, 3, 4 on the outside, and then all these Alexandria ones. Oh, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and then over here. Like, there's a lot of these things. But the D-Box was better than the movie? Because that was a really good movie. I can't think of his name right now, the director.
Of the Great Pyramid, there is a passage leading to the subterranean chamber.
Crap, I can't think of his name right now, but he directed Creed, which was the best movie of 2015, probably.
Unmarked limestone. The descending passage has a steep 26-degree downward slope.
Sure was better than Star Wars.
Ceiling. This pathway is long and challenging.
Ooh, challenging. Oh crap, keep getting stopped.
While the original passage was 145 meters long, the team reduced its length and made it both wider and higher. The main focus of the work in reproducing the location was centered upon preserving the unique claustrophobic environment of the Great Pyramid, while still allowing for a smooth game navigation.
I love that stuff, seriously! Should be more of this!
The well shaft was a 58-meter vertical passage that connected the descending corridor to the grand gallery above. An adjacent
Hype is usually better than the actual product that we get. I had no expectations going into it. It's literally, to me, what, the 15th Marvel movie? Except this time it's about Black Panther. So, again, I had no expectations. Haven't seen the Last Jedi. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that. I don't know why. It's Disney. They don't care about anything.
Without the well shaft, workers would have been trapped inside forever when the gallery was sealed.
Actually, I saw Last Jedi with Jesse, actually.
It was most likely sealed by exiting workers to camouflage the passageway.
Ooh. I enjoyed it. It was I'm trying to think. I just want to say slow car chase in space, but it's Disney Wars, and everything Disney Wars for me has been very subpar as a Star Wars movie.
There is a
very good high production value, but ugh. You'll see it in IMAX. It's still in IMAX?
Dug directly into the bedrock, the space is wide with a ceiling 3 meters in height. Its floors and walls are rough and uneven, indicating that it was never completed. At the south end of the room, there is another narrow corridor, similar to the others, though it abruptly ends after roughly 20 meters.
And done. Really?
The chamber also contains an 11-meter pit near the east.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
It's unclear whether
there's some seriously amazing scenes in it.
In the game, this well leads to a fictive underground complex containing key game-related mysteries.
Wait a minute. I was probably down there.
The subterranean chamber's original purpose remains a mystery. One popular theory is that it was originally meant to be Khufu's burial chamber, But the pharaoh changed his mind, preferring to be buried higher up in the pyramid, which would explain the chamber's unfinished state.
Yay! Yay, another one's finished! Rats! The particles. Alright. Alright, later, Teeks. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do these two and I'm heading out. 5 minutes, and I think the other one's like 8. I might be on again tomorrow, and hopefully, I don't know. I just wanna punish everybody, and just do all the tours, and then do Curse of the Pharaohs again. They put so much work in, they put so much effort into this tour mode.
Welcome to the
If I'm the only one that streams it, I'll be sad, because I'm definitely doing a subpar version of it.
The origin of the word pyramid is controversial. Most believe that it originates with the Greek word pyramis, which referred to a bread of conical shape. Life and death in ancient Egypt were modeled on the cycle of the sun. The perfect shape of the smooth-faced pyramid became associated with the metaphor of the pharaoh transformed into one of the sun's rays in death. Pyramids represented the Benben, the primordial mound of the Heliopolitan creation myth. These stories permeated every aspect of the
And I wouldn't doubt it.
to a greater or lesser extent.
I mean, I'm not even listening to well, actually, a couple of them I was listening to music.
During the pre-dynastic period,
Just
the development
little
of funerary
sick of those. Yeah, yeah. You played a song, so that we're gonna make money off your video. I'm like, nobody's gonna make money off my videos.
It is on
You got like
the site
10
of
views.
Beni Salameh in Lower Egypt that we find the oldest funerary site, dating back to 5000 BCE. Study of the tombs revealed that the bodies of the deceased were deposited in a shallow grave, in a fetal position. Though a few objects were recovered from these graves, they offered no insight as to the social class of those interred within. In Upper Egypt, pre-dynastic practices are easier to study, but reveal more complex funerary rites. They are divided into two cultural phases, Badarian and Nagada. The Badarian phase ranged from 4400 BCE to 3800 BCE. Small necropolises were discovered on the outskirts of villages, revealing the emergence of a funerary cult. The bodies of the deceased were lowered into an oval grave and covered with goat or gazelle
Oh,
skin.
Mr. Worf, you're so
Items
amazing.
needed in everyday life were added alongside the body. During the three Nagada periods, ranging from 4000 BCE
speak very
to
loud.
3510 BCE, funerary practices evolved in complexity. The shape of tombs changed from oval to rectangular, mimicking the homes of the living. The size of the burials increased and funerary items became more stylized and numerous.
Bye,
Tombs
Teeks.
gained complexity, with masonry, wooden veneers, or raw bricks
Jimmy
added to
is
strengthen the
like,
structures.
yeah, you're the kid. He's the
In
adult.
time,
Just clean your
socially
room.
stratified necropolises emerged. For example,
That's what I
in
did.
Hyrcanopolis, the elite and commoners had separate necropolises.
Hercanacanopolis. Okay, I guess that was it. Whee!
The term mastaba, meaning massive bench in dialectal Arabic, refers to a form of funerary architecture
Again,
that was present in Egypt
This is
from the
a
Archaic
PG
period to the Middle
show.
Period.
Quit using the word
In
mastaba.
evolution of the burial pit, mastabas were generally composed of two parts. A structure
Holy
was
crap,
built
2
above the
people.
ground in
Yeah,
the
I'm
form of a
just doing the
massive
tours.
rectangle with stepped
So if you
walls,
really want
and
to have a lot of
subterranean
subtitles,
burial
alright, we
chambers
got rid of
located
one.
underneath.
I'll see you in a
Smaller
little.
mastabas
I'll
often
see you
surrounded the
being
much
going
larger
away
tomb
too
of
as
the
well.
king. These generally
Go to
have
Game Dungeon
remains of
Productions.
deceased relatives
He's playing
and courtiers.
Alien Isolation. Because I'm just doing the tours and I'm on the pyramids right now.
The arrangement of the substructure of the mastaba evolved during the course of the Old
Mastaba.
Kingdom. From the 5th dynasty onwards, mastabas often featured multi-roomed substructures, with sometimes up to 30 rooms. Also, the quantity and quality of decorated surfaces increased noticeably, as well as the number of statues found within.
Whoa.
The 6th dynasty would see art used to its utmost. The entire surface of a mastaba would be covered in scenes of daily life, illustrating the prosperity of those lucky enough to comfortably spend eternity near the pyramid of a pharaoh. The best example of this type of mastaba is the tomb of Meroruka in Saqqara.
Yeah, I finished another one. Ooh, look, a tree. I wonder if that was supposed to be there. Oh, crap, this was a longer one. Just doing the tours, as the title suggests. This will be my last one. If you want to watch a real streamer, go to Game Dungeons Productions. He's playing Alien Isolation, unless he's finished. But I assume I'm going to bed long before him.
Secrets of the Great. Built around 2550 BCE, the Great Pyramid of Giza is considered one of the most iconic structures of Egypt.
In the world.
It is the biggest of the pyramids, and the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still
Would
standing.
love to see the Colossus of Rhodes.
The numbers
Hanging
associated
Gardens
with the
of
Great
Babylon.
Pyramid of Giza are impressive. A
The
workforce of over 20,000 people,
Lighthouse of
6
Alexandria.
million tons of stone, and 20 years of construction.
Ones.
It was a massive undertaking for a pharaoh's tomb.
It was a crap. It was a mausoleum. It was a mausoleum for some dude's queen. I can't remember it, but at least a Colossus of Rhodes would be awesome to see. And then to be completely underwhelmed by the fact that it would probably be like 20 feet tall.
Opulence on the part of Khufu. It is part of the pharaoh's vast funerary complex, which also includes 2 temples, 3 satellite pyramids, a causeway, and a builder's necropolis. We can guess that the intent behind the construction of these monuments was Khufu's way of declaring himself one of the most powerful pharaohs to rule a unified Egypt.
So he was basically Bender Bending Rodriguez. Except he was not unable to make a giant pyramid in his shape saying, "Remember me."
Over 4,500 years later. For example, a recently unearthed papyrus offers a glimpse into the life of a tradesman at the time of the pyramid's construction.
Remember
Also,
me.
a logbook belonging to a team leader during the building gives details on the craftsmen, their work schedules, and the raw materials required.
Meticulous record keepers, I guess.
It is interesting to note that by Cleopatra's time, the pyramid's celestial purpose, its construction, and the function of its mysterious inner chambers was already unclear. Today, it is only through dedicated research that
Roommates
we have
up.
begun to grasp some of the Great Pyramid's mysteries.
So many mysteries.
The Egyptians had polished their design for centuries by the time work on the Great Pyramid began. Intended as a tomb for Khufu, the Great Pyramid's structural design has been considered to be nearly perfect by engineers and historians ever since.
Because the pyramids are perfect and beautiful in every way.
Precisely oriented north-south to the 4 cardinal points of a compass, the length of each side of the Great Pyramid at its base was 230 meters, and its original height was 147 meters.
It's not as tall
The
anymore.
pyramid is a mere 0.05% error away from being a perfect square.
Not bad. Not bad at all. No computers, no heavy construction machinery. Just
In
a bunch
order
of
to achieve
dudes.
the shape of a true pyramid,
Oh, I
the
lost
design
you.
required many considerations in the
Told you
planning
I was
phases, as well as
literally doing
precision
this.
during execution. It was especially critical that they control the angle of inclination on all sides at every stage of construction. Materials for the Great Pyramid consisted of quarried limestone blocks, weighing between 2 to 15 tons each. The methods of moving these blocks into place is still debated by architects and Egyptologists. The precision of its design in an age with only soft metal tools, as well as the enormous scale of its construction, make the Great Pyramid one of the most impressive feats of human engineering.
It's more than usual.
Might have been talking to somebody, actually.
It could have been.
Yeah. I probably needlessly raised my voice.
It's estimated that it took between 600,000 and 2 million blocks
Oh,
of stone
God, yeah.
to build the Great Pyramid.
Between the German part and the
Experts
Scottish part,
calculate it would have
like
required
it's
men
amazing
to move
I don't.
12 blocks every hour around the clock for 20
Oh,
years
and what doesn't
to
help
place
was,
the 2.3 million stones the
I
monument
made
is
noodles and everything, and then I was grinding some pepper, and like the entire thing popped off. So my noodles is basically whole peppers, whole black pepper kernels, which, yeah, that's spicy. So, yeah. Whoa, look at I go.
While the
It's
interior
just,
chambers were built with red granite from Aswan, most of the pyramid was made from local limestone, weighing between 2 to 15 tons per block.
Yeah.
There is debate on how the pyramid stones were moved into place. Recent research is exploring
Good
the idea
special
that it was
effects.
built around a
Anywho.
large interior ramp.
So I'll clear. Obviously, it's a little dark, and I'm not sure pepper kernels. I want to say cloves.
The recently discovered log
I'll clean it
confirms
tomorrow,
that the high-quality
after
limestone
work,
of the outer
or
casing
Saturday.
was brought by boat across the Nile from a quarry in Tura.
Tura.
Once complete, the smooth white polished stone of the Great Pyramid would have reflected the sunlight like a beacon, earning it the name the Horizon of Khufu.
Whee!
Over the centuries, thieves and travelers attempted to access the Great Pyramid numerous times. Ancient writings describe details of its interior, proof that some made their way within, though who gained entrance first and when is unknown.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
The main entrance of the Great Pyramid is located 17 meters above ground level. It faces north, likely in order to align with the North Star. Though the entrance passageway
Great
had been
Pyramids
discovered in
technically also
antiquity,
align with
any
Orion's
further
belt.
access into the Great Pyramid
Not
was stopped
the
by massive
cat
vertical
from
slabs of rock.
Men in
As
Black.
such, present-day visitors to the pyramid must use the robber's entrance.
Ooh, we're going in, I guess.
The robber's entrance is reported to have been opened in the 9th century by Caliph al-Mamun. In search of treasure, the Caliph had his men dig their way inside the Great Pyramid. The most likely scenario is that they enlarged a corridor which had been created by tomb robbers during antiquity. As such, this is how the team can justify access to this wonder. Attempts to gain entry to the Great Pyramid and uncover its potential secrets continued throughout the centuries. In the 19th century, the belief that another entry existed at the south side resulted in a hole being blasted into the pyramid's side, with no results for the damage that was done. While the search is still ongoing today to uncover more hidden rooms and passageways, Conservation is the primary concern of all such efforts.
Yay! Secrets of the Great Pyramid. Finished! The flora of ancient Egypt. Well, I finished the pyramids. I'm finished with tours for the night. Got the pyramids done. Yay! I got those. Oh, shouldn't be too bad, but I'm working. I'm working them. Okay, I'm working them, and eventually I won't have to subject anybody to them. I mean, I like them. I really do. I kind of have to pay attention, but whatever. Until tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow. Peace. Right. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't remember how to stop this right now. There we go.